Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here. So today we're going to be tier listing the Tokon fighters. Of course, we're gonna go through each of the Avengers. We're gonna be going through them in order of course, the Avengers, pretty much in roster order, basically. A couple of things in the background gameplay, you're not gonna be seeing any strict combos and like that. You're gonna be seeing the light string, the medium string, and the heavy string, pretty much. We will be seeing the super and the alt and the Tokon assault. You will also be hearing the music from the game itself. So, for example, for Captain America, you'll be hearing his theme. Like for Ghost Rider, you'll be hearing his music while the background gameplay is going on. Also, you will be hearing intro and outro as well. So that's going to be all. Now, for our first character here, we're going to be doing Captain America. And Captain America is going in very pleased. So Captain America himself, again, in order to be Ghost status, there really has to be something really special about you. Now, for Captain America specifically, I really do think his alt colors are very good. I like his animations for his level 1, his super, and his ultimate skill is quite good as well. His Tokon assault is pretty nice as well. He does have really good music as well. He's just a really, really good all-rounder. However, he does, in my personal opinion, I can't say for certain he has anything that will put him above the edge here. I do like his unique being the shield throw. When the characters that are in the very pleased tier, there's not really much that I'm personally going to be saying about them in terms of what can be improved or whatever. Pretty good. We'll have characters that I'll have light criticisms of, and then of course in the lower tiers, that's where things are going to, really start to kind of cook here. But yeah, Captain America, I think it's very pleased. By the way, you will be seeing the full shebang even if my commentary has ended, so y'all can kind of enjoy that aspect. Anyways, on that note though, I'm gonna let y'all kind of witness the rest of what Captain America has to offer in terms of the special stuff. Now, of course, Iron Man is, you know, Iron Man is going to end up in very pleased here. I honestly, I gotta think they did a great job with the base roster. So with Iron Man specifically, I think his color options are really, really good. I do enjoy his super and his ult as well. There is an extra variation to the ult itself, which honestly I really do like. Personally, he does have really good music as well, especially fitting for Iron Man, well, fellas. His Tokon Assault also does look pretty good. My one piece of criticism here is his level 1 is a little, and I feel like his super should be like with the pressing the extra input to get the beam to come out. I feel like that should be what it is by default. It feels a little weird that we have two different variations of the same thing, Basically, there is a future character that does have two variations of their ult, and it is done, honestly, quite a lot better. So that is something of note. He does have a little bit of sauce, but again, there's nothing here that necessarily blows me out of water. Just really, really solid character. I don't really, again, very pleased characters. There's going to be minor nitpicks here and there, but I really do like this character. Really good at zoning as well, but also the issue that some zoning characters have is being completely inept at close ranges, which he is not. However, anyways, though, on that note, though, the next character is going to be the Black Panther.
Oh, champs, you can't win them all. Because really, that's my job. Toodles.
And now for our next character, Black Panther. So, Black Panther is actually going to end up in questionable. Now, here's the problem. One, her music is on the mid side, if I'm being perfectly honest here, and her all colors is something I'm also not a huge fan of. Like, her music I consider to be mid, which would generally put her in pretty good. However, the all colors, just me not liking them at all, puts her down in tier as well. I think her ult and her super I think they look pretty good, and I really actually like that Tokon Assault. I think at least in my personal opinion, it does look really, really, really good. But those alt colors look rough to me personally. Now, outside of that, she does move quite a lot, which makes sense for her character, of course. Now, again, for questionable characters, I put in questionable. there's going to be things that I dislike about them and will criticize. And for Black Panther specifically, it's going to be the specific variation of the character that is used. I just personally like T'Challa personally over Shuri or Yuri or Suri or whatever her name is. See, that's how much I'm not kept up. But I would have rather them have gone with not MCU T'Challa Black Panther, but actual comic book Black Panther T'Challa. However, though, that's going to be the main reason why this character ends up being questionable, because I don't like this iteration of the character, the all colors in the mid music. Now, so on that note, though, the next character in the Last of the Avengers is going to be Hulk.
Yeah. Every big guy has a big plan. Until he has to face the might of Wakanda. Wakanda forever!
Now, unfortunately for our last Avenger, Hulk, unfortunately, is going to go into questionable. Now, there are a few reasons why he's also in questionable. So keep in mind, there's going to be almost no characters in the trash tier. But questionable here. Okay, well, first off, let's talk about his all colors. I think his all colors are really good, honestly. No, but honestly, before we even get into depth on all colors, let's talk about the music. The music is probably the worst of the Avengers. Keep in mind, this is not the worst music in the game in my personal opinion. But out of the rest of the Avengers, I would put Hulk slightly below Black Panther. But honestly, I think Hulk's all colors are really, really good. All things considered, because it changes his full-blown skin color, which I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't. My biggest issue comes with his ult lacking in terms of visual, in my personal opinion. His Tokon symbol is great, but I was hoping for a little bit more with Hulk's super and ult. Also, he does feel quite clunky to use sometimes. He has armor on a decent amount of moves, but I'm not a huge fan of, at least I'm not a personal fan of the way Hulk plays for the most part. So it's like I've barely ever used him. By the way, some characters you will be able to tell quite quickly that I have barely used them. Hulk is one of those, the same with Black Panther. But yeah, that's kind of why Hulk is in question, mainly because of the... I thought there's going to be more done with it. However, that's going to be it for the Avengers, and it's going to be time to move on to the X-Men. Now, heading up the X-Men, we do have Storm, and Storm actually gonna place in very pleased. Now, first and foremost, I do actually like Storm's music. It's nothing absolutely like stellar or anything like that, but I think it's honest her music is pretty good. It takes a little too long to get to the violin section that I really, really like, but not holding out against it necessarily. Again, very pleased. Characters I'm very pleased with are generally overall pretty good, so I'm not gonna have too much to say here. I really like her all colors. She has one of the best suites of all colors in the game. I really do like her character skill, and well, her super skill and her ult. Her Tokon is pretty good as well. The only reason why she's not in the top tier is because, generally speaking, at least in my personal opinion, she feels a little too close range. However, I know she has a very, very high skill ceiling. I just haven't played her with enough to get to that high skill ceiling, but she can feel clunky to use, especially at a little bit of a lower skill level. Anyways, though, on that note, though, that's going to be my thoughts on Storm. I'm going to let y'all look at the rest of this, and then we will be discussing another one of the X-Men.
Leave the rest to me. Let lightning strike! You cannot stand against the storm. You men of violence never understand the power of a loving goddess.
And of course, Magic is gonna go into GOAT tier. She's going to GOAT tier. Uh, I mean, come on. First off, music is absolutely phenomenal. Of course, while I was doing this tier list, I did re-listen to the music. This is kind of the first time I was like, ooh, damn! Like this shit I would listen to outside of the game on a regular basis. Her art, her alt colors as a whole, are really, really good as well. There are a few couple that I don't like, but all in all, really, really good as well. I do like the visuals of her super skill and her ult and her. She probably has one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Tokon assemble in the entire game. Just from a visual standpoint, absolutely phenomenal. I really like this character. There's not really anything I can say about this character. I'm not terribly familiar with her outside of this game. Like, I didn't even know who she was in Marvel Rivals. So, but honestly, cool stuff. I really like her. There is another X-Men that I don't know that I really didn't like, but I thought she was handled extremely well. However, those are kind of my quick thoughts on her. So all in all, go tier. Don't have much to say. As a not note, though, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next X-Men after this, being Wolverine.
It's bad, but I love this! Hell! Ah! You were undefeated, champion. But then, you met me.
Now, of course, Wolverine is unfortunately going to be in pretty good tier. Again, not terribly low or anything like that, but in pretty good tier. First of all, he does have really good music. I really actually do like his music. His music alone, like, should put him, a tier higher. Also, he has really good alt colors as well. I like almost all of his alt colors. Again, there are a couple of alt colors that I don't like for almost every single character in the game, but all in all, absolutely phenomenal. I will say, the unfortunate part is I do not like his super, and I do not like his ult. I think his Tokon Assemble, looks good. However, I'm not the biggest fan of his ult just turning into a Beyblade. Part of that is due to, yeah, obviously you can't be violent with Wolverine in this game, but I felt like they could have done something a little bit better in my personal opinion. It's just the ult is just, I'm not the biggest fan of it. However, I will say Wolverine is another character that I think is going to take quite a bit of skill to learn. And I'm in the process of kind of learning how to use Wolverine a little bit, so learning a little bit of the Berserk stuff, so I think he's a pretty good character overall in terms of vibes and whatnot. Again, good music. I'm a little bit on the alt colors, but good on the alt colors, but yeah, but I think he's just a pretty good character. And then we're going to move on to our final X-Men, Danger. Now, of course, Danger is actually going to be questionable as well. Now, here's Danger. First off, music. In my personal opinion, she has one of the worst pieces of music in the entire game. In terms of the individual character music, she arguably has the worst, in my personal opinion. It's bad. Her alt colors as well, I don't like most of them. And most of them, in my opinion, are straight dookie. She does have some good looking ones, but most of them are really bad in my personal opinion. I don't care about the references. However, what's keeping her out of trash is I actually do like her base kit and her animations. Also, I do like her super skill, and her ult is great as well. I kind of wish she actually did have the status effect of, having the butterflies still out, even after the ult is casted. And I do like her Tokon Assemble as well. But as a whole, questionable, because the questionable decisions were made, and that questionable decision that was made was with the music specifically. So yeah, and honestly on a little bit of the color variations as well, but I digress. And so that is actually going to be it for X-Men here, and we're going to actually be moving on to the Amazing Guardians next.
Confirmed damage to target. I knew the Shi'ar could not be defeated so easily. Looking at the results of this battle, I assume that footage must have been altered.
And now, of course, time to talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of those little bit more stranger characters to discuss here. Also, if y'all notice the editing style changes partway through, it's because I'm editing this over the course of multiple days and hours. But Spider-Man is going to end up being pretty good. First off, his music. His music is why he's just pretty good. His music is questionable at best. His music is just extraordinarily repetitive. Extraordinarily repetitive. However, he does have some great recolors. The Future Spider suit, the Iron Spider suit, like he has some honestly really amazing recolors. However, it's just that his music is the main reason why he's pretty good. However, his recolors are extraordinarily good. He has some of my favorite set of recolors in the entire game. Something else to mention here, I do like how his super, I do like his super and his ult. It does have a unique detail that the collection of stuff he slams down is it does change depending on the stage, which is really cool. Also, however, another thing here is I'm not the biggest fan of his Tokon Assault, but again, my beta experience was not really influenced by this at all. But yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of his Tokon Assault and whatnot. So that's the reason why he's pretty good. But I like his base kit, and I really love his recolor. So that's why he's just going to be pretty good. But now it's going to be on to Miss Marvel.
Wow, you are tough. Wow, you really are the champion of the universe. Except cool ones, where the Spider-Man reigns supreme.
And now, time for Miss Marvel here. So, Miss Marvel is in, well, definitely, of course, not going to be a go, but also in pretty good. Her music is alright. Again, it's alright. It's alright. Her recolors, some of them are pretty good. Some of them I'm not as big of a fan of. She is a newer character in terms of the grand space of Marvel, so, now, keep in mind, the biggest problems with this is her super and her alt are a little, and her Tokon assemble, they're all just mid. It's all just mid. I think she is like, as a whole entire package, in my personal opinion, she is flat out mid. Mid super, mid alt, mid Tokon assemble, relatively mid colors, and mid music. I will say the main positive thing here is her base kit. I actually do like. She has long range throws and whatnot, so I think the way they did her moveset is honestly pretty good. But I think she's just a perfect definition in terms of mid. So yeah, that's why I also kind of have nothing to say about her as a whole. However, though, that's kind of honestly not gonna do it for Miss Marvel. So now I'm gonna move on to some high tier contenders.
The rookie defeats the champion?
Now, speaking of Star-Lord, y'all know Star-Lord is going to go in GOAT tier. He's going in GOAT tier. First and foremost, the music slaps. The music slaps. For me personally, it has to be top 5 tracks, if not top 3. For me personally, it is top 3. But it is so good, so good. I really love his music. I will say, again, Go tiers are not immune to criticism. I will say my one issue with Star-Lord is his character screen selection here. That particular screen, you cannot see the alt colors very well. You pretty much have to see them in the game itself. Honestly, I will say, as a whole, they do look pretty good. But remember, in order to be a GOAT tier, you gotta have style, which he's got. Also, his unique and swap elements, which is really cool. There's one fire, ice, electric, and then earth, which gives him like a shield type thing. It's honestly really cool. It does affect his level 1 as well. It does affect his level 1 ultimate, which is great as well. I will say he has one of my personal favorite Tokon assembles, bringing out the ship and then beaming with the Tokon assemble. It is so good and it is so cool. So cool. Also, I will say his ult actually does something extraordinarily good for zoning in terms of giving him 3 shots. It's just extremely broken. Well, not necessarily broken, but it is extremely good and really cool. Again, more the characters that are GOAT tier, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the unique stuff. So, I personally really like Star-Lord. I don't play him as much, but music is so good. I kind of hope they would let the colors reflect the character a little bit more, because it's honestly really, most of them look terrible, but they look all really good when you're actually playing it in the game. So that's one piece of criticism for him. But yeah, Star-Lord, GOAT tier, mainly for his music, so good. But yeah, that's going to do it for Star-Lord, and then we're going to move on to Torchic's, one of Torchic's favorite characters. Now, for Penny Parker specifically, that's Torchic's favorite character, and Penny Parker's going to go and go. Now, of course, Let's talk about her music first. Her music, is it my favorite in the game? No. However, it is really good for her thematically. But one of the, if you don't have absolutely fantastic music, you have to be super duper thematic and really good for that thematic. For Penny's theme of Japan or whatever, it's absolutely phenomenal. I like it. It's catchy as well. There's going to be another character that's going to be high up for similar reasons, even though their music is not as good as like Star-Lord's, for instance, or Magic's, for instance. But Penny also, I think her alt colors are all pretty good. You're pretty good. I don't think any of them are bad, but I'm not going to go out of my way to say anything absolutely stellar either. Uh, I will say her most fun stuff is her combo and mid-air shenanigans. I do like the spider's animations. Her Penny's super really good. I really do like her ult. She does have one of my favorite ults in the game, and her Tokon symbol. I've kind of grown around it. You know, it's growing on me. Tokon symbol I do actually like, but also a fun fact: the Japanese voice actors for Penny did actually sing the music for her music as well. But yeah, Penny, I really enjoy her as a character. My only piece of criticism would be that Unique. I'm not the biggest fan of that Unique in terms of the spider bots. And so on that note, though, that's going to be it for the Amazing Guardians, and now we're going to move on to the Samurai Outriders. Now, of course, for the first of the Samurai Outriders, we're going to put Ghost Rider in Very Pleased. Now, this is going to be the first iteration I'm going to be talking about the voice acting. It is Japanese because I really do not like the English voice for this, so I went with Japanese instead. You can change the voice acting for individual characters. Now, for Ghost Rider, I actually really liked, well, not really, I really love the colors. Specifically, color 6 and color 7. Color 6 changes all of his colors into blue, including his fire, and then his color 7 turns all of his fire into green, as you'll see in some of the background shenanigans. Now, first off, his music is, well, first, his voice acting is the reason why he's in Very Pleased, but also his music, there's a particular section in his music that I am personally not a huge fan of. However, he's as high as Very Pleased because I love the alt. I do like this. I do like the super skill as well. I do like the Penancer being the Tokon symbol. However, if I were to give a piece of criticism here, the Penancer does not change color, so that would be my main piece of criticism here. However, I really like this. Well, what they've done with Ghost Rider, so that's why he's going to be in Very Pleased. Now, Blade, of course, my boy Blade is going to be in GOAT tier. Now, something to keep in mind, we'll be seeing a little bit of extra gameplay than you've seen a little bit before, because one, I forgot to record Blade's Tokon assemble, so there is that. But also, there's quite a bit I want to talk about with this character. First off, his music is again thematically with him. I don't dislike it. I do like his music. However, is this something that I would listen to outside of the game? Probably not. But it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Again, it fits with his theme, I called it Japanese trap. But all in all, I do like Blade's music, especially for his character. However, I like his sauce. Again, you gotta have some saucy when you're in the GOAT tier. Penny Parker has mid-air Ghost Rider. I love his flame stuff and he changes colors. With Blade, it's just he's got that aura on him, low key. But his all colors are really good as well. I personally like the color 4, which is white. I also do like the gold color 7, and I really do like the purple on him. The purple does look clean on him. So, but outside of that, I do like his super skill. His ult does have 2 variations, one being a longer range one, the other one being pretty close range. His Tokon sample, unfortunately, I cannot show it, but I really do actually like it as well. It's not among my favorites. That belongs to characters like, at least out of the characters that we've covered so far, that belongs to characters like Magic and Star-Lord over him, and even Ghost Rider. But all in all, really good character. I love how they've implemented my boy Blade. However, though, he's in GOAT tier, and don't worry, we're going to be having another Samurai Outrider up in GOAT tier. Now, Deadpool specifically is the next character that's going to be in GOAT tier. Now, for Deadpool specifically, first off, I do like his music. Is his music good? Like is his music just a general good? No. However, like I wouldn't listen to it necessarily outside of the game. But, however, I actually really do like his music for him thematically. Similar situation to Penny Parker. I think his music is perfect for him, and I don't think it's bad. I think I think it's at least enjoyable, and it's very funny from kind of a musician's perspective. Now, his all colors are honestly really good as well. I like them personally. Uh, I like almost all of them. There are a couple here that I don't like, but I mean, as a whole, I really like his all colors. Now, I like his super skill, of course. I really like his ult as well. His Tokon assemble is also really funny as well. However, his main thing is his secret inputs and his outro. I really like he does have quite a bit of references to him and a bunch of secret inputs, but I really also really love his outro as well. If I were to give him a piece of criticism, the whole health regen mechanic is wasted on him. I'll be perfectly honest here. I'm not a huge fan of that mechanic at all. However, though, as a whole, I really like this character. But so that's why he belongs kind of in GOAT tier. However, next we're gonna get to the last of the Samurai Outriders, being Loki.
The god of battle losing in a fighting game. Now you're the champion of what exactly?
Now, Loki is also going to be in the very pleased tier. I do think Samurai Outriders is probably the best faction, but you know, I'm gonna say my thoughts on each faction, you know, as we after the Knights of Doom. But Loki, I will say the reason why he's he's in the very pleased tier is because of its music. His music, in my personal opinion, doesn't really go anywhere. It stays very around the same area for a little too long. However, his all colors are really good as well. I do like his intro and his outro; they're fantastic. I do like his general moveset. A few of the issues that I have is, one, his super only really hits the ground, which I kind of don't like. At least from personal opinion, sometimes it can whiff. However, I do actually like his ult, and he does have one of my favorite Tokon assaults. So his ult and Tokon assault are really good. However, I am not the biggest fan of his super and how it hits. But all in all, I really do Loki as a character here, and you know, that's gonna kind of do it for the Samurai Outriders. And of course, next is going to be the Knights of Doom.
Has come to stay.
Awake from your slumber.
You know, if being a hero means beating people like you. Well, I think it could grow on me.
Now, Doctor Doom, of course, is also going to be a GOAT tier. It's going to be GOAT status. Now, first off, fantastic music. I actually really do like his music. Second of all, I will say his voice actor also did a phenomenal job. But I will say I don't like half of his alt colors, but I really like the other half of the alt colors, which is kind of an interesting little flip-flop in terms of there's half that I really like, half that I don't like. However, the reason why he's in GOAT tier is, again, the sauce. What I personally like doing is I like, if I can do it, I like doing the vanish to the opponent's other side, just raw super. I really do like his super. It does use a Luger pistol from World War II Germany. In case you don't know, I'm a really big military history buff, so that's really cool. He actually does have two variations of his ult. One is more of a long-range one, the other one is more of a close-range one. So that is also just something to keep in mind here. I really like his unique as well. Also keep in mind the gameplay section is going to be a little bit longer because he has two supers, and I actually remembered to do his Tokon Assault. Speaking of his Tokon Assault, I would say that's where it lacks a little bit, is that Tokon Assault, but everything else is extremely good. Has sauce, is outro screen is absolutely phenomenal as well. Really like him. So yeah, of course, he's gonna be in the GOAT tier. But now we're gonna move on to the next Knight of Doom.
You may have great power, have fought anyone, and you chose to fight Doom.
And now Magneto himself is also going to be in GOAT tier, mainly because his music is probably my favorite in the entire game. I really like his music. His music is absolutely phenomenal, and I do listen to it outside of the game. So, yeah, he has my favorite music in the entire game. His colors, all of them are pretty good. I do like most of them as well. Something else here, I do like his magnetized, well, not his magnetized, but his floating debris sort of situation. I do wish he was a little bit better, but I like his super. I really like his ult as well, and of course his Tokon assemble. I forget if it's called the Sentinel or Sentry, but that big giant robot head just smacking down. Game might have been a little while since I've watched 97, like the OG X-Men cartoons, but I absolutely love Magneto's voice actor. Also did a fantastic job with him. But yeah, definitely GOAT tier status. Again, my only criticism here is I wish he was a little bit better in terms of outside of zoning. But yeah, I really like this character as a whole, and even like the story involvement, even though that did not factor here. Anyways, though, those are kind of my quick thoughts on Magneto. It's time to move on to the Green Goblin.
I have proven who is worthy. Clearly, it was not you.
Now, the Green Goblin is gonna be in pretty good. Now, first off, let's talk about his music here. I'm not the biggest fan of his music. I think his music is thematically fitting with him in terms of the music definitely gives off cartoon villain type of vibes, and Green Goblin is definitely that. I will say it's interesting that Wolverine and Green Goblin had the same voice actor in this game. I will say Green Goblin's alt colors are honestly pretty darn good. I actually like a lot of his alt colors. Now, the reason why he is in pretty good instead of, very pleasing, or like very good, or like somewhere in there, is because I really do not like his base kit. I don't like how the glider's implemented. I will say his ult his ult is pretty good, honestly, but his super skill is a little disappointing. His Tokon assault, I think there could have been a little bit more done with it, but his Tokon assault is alright. His ult's pretty good. I'm just not the biggest fan of his super skill. Those are the main reasons why, but really that base kit is the reason why, how the glider's implemented is the main reason why he's in pretty good, and the music would generally be in mid tier. So those are the reasons why he's in that tier. Now, those are my quick thoughts on Green Goblin, and time for our final Knight of Doom being Carnage.
Big name you couldn't live up to. Shall see you later, champ.
Now, Carnage, at first I thought I was going to put him in very pleased, but he ended up being in pretty good. Now, here's the thing. I don't care for his music, mainly for the strict reason that I'm not the biggest fan of just heavy metal. There has to be some kind of twist on it or something. I just personally don't like it, so that's the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of his music. I will say, if you really like heavy metal, then y'all are probably going to like his music a lot more than I personally will. His alt colors, generally speaking, I really don't like most of them. There are a couple that I think are pretty good, like the black and red one and the color 7, the bubblegum. I call the bubblegum color. I actually do like. However, the rest of them, I really don't like. I know the references to stuff, but again, that did not really factor here. I will say, I really like his movesets visually. I really like how his ult looks. I love his Tokon assemble, and I really like his regular super skill as well. However, he feels very rough to use. He feels very slow and clunky, and he doesn't really feel great to use. That would be my biggest piece of criticism here, and that's why he really only feels pretty. That's why I put him in generally pretty good, because of all of that. However, that is it for Knights of Doom. Now it's going to be time to talk about the champion and my final thoughts on things. Now, for the champion, I did end up putting him in questionable. At the end, y'all see the final thing of where I put everybody. But I actually did put him in questionable because I haven't really done that much with this character. I will say his all colors are pretty good. His music, I'm kind of just indifferent on. If it was just his music, it would be in pretty good. It would just be in pretty good because I think it's just kind of mid, which is fine. Well, slightly above mid. But he does, like, his ult is one of the best ults in the game, in my opinion. It's super duper cool. His Tokon assemble is also really, really good. I really, really like it. So, but other than that, I just haven't really tested this character out very much as well. So I can't really say that much. That's why he's questionable. So just kind of don't really know. He can't use assist either. So, however, the Starball Phoenix Cyclops here. He's going to go in the trash. That's the reason why I made that trash tier specifically for him. Now, the reason being is because I do not like Cyclops or Jean. They are characters that I have almost never liked in any iteration. I will say I didn't mind Cyclops in the original X-Men cartoons when I watched it as a kid, but like the Fox movies really like made me hate Cyclops. I've never been that big of a fan of Cyclops. I've always liked Wolverine more, and Gambit especially. So that's an uphill battle. I do not like Cyclops at all in almost any iteration of the character. Meanwhile, with Black Panther, I'm like, you know what? Shuriken can, handle the title. I don't mind it as much. But I really do not like Cyclops. That's why he's going to be in trash tier, because I'm not going to like him as a character. It doesn't matter how cool or any stuff you have. I'm sorry, but if I do not like the character, it's going to be a major uphill battle. Now, what I will say is, I definitely lean towards the Samurai Outriders. The X-Men as a whole are a little bit all over the place, which kind of makes sense as well. But yeah, I really would appreciate y'all if y'all would, give this video a thumbs up. This took this took a while to edit together. When I mean a while, I mean a fat chunk of time. So I would appreciate it if y'all dropped a like and whatnot. If y'all do want to see some actual, fisticuffs videos, do let me know in the comments below, because I can do some of those. However, I'm not sure if how well that would do on the channel or anything like that. But I really do appreciate y'all for making it to the end of the video if y'all have. Anyways, though, thanks for tuning in. Next week, do expect a video on Project Sunrise to happen. As on that note, though, I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. But I will catch y'all on the flip side.